welcome to Gar Borras' special edition, episode 3. This is one of 2 spinoff shows we've created. And very much like in the first 2 episodes, Gar, we're going to talk about the fact that your band Appetite for Destruction has a show coming up and talk a little bit about that upcoming show, which is October 28th at Las Vegas House of Blues. So I'll let you take it away.
Well, just recently, I got contacted by Live Nation to do a show at the House of Blues, Las Vegas, and they gave me a choice of dates, and one of the dates was on the weekend of Halloween. So
Wow.
of course,
Yeah.
it's Halloween weekend. Who doesn't want to do a concert, especially a tribute band where you're dressing up like somebody else?
Yeah.
It's like when you're in a tribute band, it's like Halloween every time you do a show, and which makes it a lot of fun. It just jumped out.
Let's talk about that, Gar.
We jumped on it, and I had to scramble.
Wow.
Because the show is like, now it's less than a month away. So, I had to scramble to get all the advertisements ready and all the promotions and how people can get tickets, so all of that stuff. So it's a daunting task because it's very complicated to do, and you have to do it as quick as possible.
Sure. A couple things on that. Like, it must be a great feeling that rather than you being somebody that's reaching out to people to see if you can get gigs, people are reaching out to you. They call you.
Well, it's I've been doing shows with Live Nation for probably in the neighborhood of like 15 years.
Yeah.
So I have a very good relationship with them. It all started back at the House of Blues on Sunset Boulevard that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's so trippy because that was the first location that gave me a show, and when I got that show, it was kind of an experiment, because the person that they were doing the type of shows that they do with me, there was a person that they were doing shows with before, that they didn't want to do business with that person anymore.
Wow.
I don't really know, why, because I never really, dove into that, but, and they were looking for someone else. And I don't know how they came across me at that time, because this is like 15 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was, I wasn't doing the kind of shows that I'm doing right now. I was playing at very small places.
I mean,
doing, with somebody at the door, and doing those, door shows. And I don't know, but they found me, and they because I had been knocking on their door for a lot of years, and they weren't answering the door. And then now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're knocking on my door.
Yeah,
it was trippy. Yeah. And they gave me one shot, to make good on it. And I guess I did, because now here we are 15 years later, and I'm still
you delivered the goods, as they say. I mean, you entertain them, and as I can tell people, anybody who knows your history and mine, I mean, before we even started doing the Time Machine, I first encountered you like playing the tribute scene, and you were part of another project then called Snake Pit, where you guys were kind of, it was a tribute to all things Slash, Velvet Revolver, Guns N' Roses, a little bit of everything. And then you went off.
That was the actual that that actually metamorphosized
Into Appetite.
into Appetite for
Yeah, yeah,
Destruction.
yeah.
It started out as that, and then one day we were at rehearsal, and the bass player, decided to bring up, he called it the elephant in the room,
Yeah, yeah.
and because it was definitely crossing everybody's mind. Should we continue doing this tribute to Slash, or should we turn it into a full-fledged tribute to Guns N' Roses?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's,
The rest
I
is
guess, Guns N'
history.
Roses won out.
And I can tell you from following you all these years, Gar, and seeing that band back then, I remember when I first started seeing ads about that band, um, Snake Pit on the internet and Facebook and stuff. And I think, oh, how cool is that? There's not another tribute out like that. That's going to be cool. And it was a unique, fun show to see. But I think why the band kind of ended up not lasting very long, not the lack of talent or anything, but let's be honest. But a lot more people know Guns N' Roses songs and probably even Velvet Revolver songs or even the Snake Pit song. So that's why it makes sense to that you would morph into what you're doing now with Appetite for Destruction, because people go to an Appetite for Destruction song. Who hasn't heard all those classic Guns N' Roses songs, right?
Yeah, but I also have to admit that,
Yeah,
when I was actually doing that project, it allowed me to discover,
sure. Other,
Slash's solo material, and there was some really good songs,
oh, sure.
that, Slash did early on in his early solo
Yeah.
career. So that was a really nice side benefit of doing that, is it really kind of opened my eyes to some really, really good material.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I know that the two bands kind of morphed into two separate Guns N' Roses tributes. There's Appetite for Destruction. The other one, I'll say the name, Lose Your Illusion. The guitar player in that band, he's very, very talented. But let's be honest, Gar, as far as why people reach out to you, as far as, I can't really, those are only two like Guns N' Roses tributes that I'm even aware in the area. So, the Los Angeles area. So anytime I see anything about a Guns N' Roses tribute, it's usually either you, Appetite for Destruction, or the other band, Lose Your Illusion. So as far as having a Guns N' Roses tribute band, on a bill, I mean, there's not a lot of them out in this area.
No, and I think it's because it's so hard to do Axel.
Yeah, yeah,
Even for a really, really good singer,
sure.
somebody I'm not talking about myself, but I'm
Okay.
just talking about a singer
General.
that might
Yeah,
be thinking about doing something like that. Even if you take a really, really good singer, because Axel has all of these like elements to his voice that are extremely difficult things to do.
yeah.
I think it really intimidates singers, and I think that has a lot to do with why there isn't a whole lot of singers jumping on board
To do
to
that.
do
Yeah.
a tribute to Guns N' Roses.
I mean, you told me you had to really do your homework and you really hours of practice and rehearsal. I mean, not just hours, but years. Like you told me, you're not really the point where you feel. Um, you said I can do it. I know I can do it, but I feel like there's still room for improvement. And I'll tell you, having
Well,
seen you
I
performing,
still don't feel
yeah,
that, I mean, I don't know if I will ever
yeah,
feel that
yeah,
I'm there, you know what I mean? But I still, I mean, all I can ever focus on when I hear what I'm
yeah.
doing and everything is where I'm failing. That's all I can hear.
I mean, Gar,
I
I
mean,
think that's
or where I'm falling short,
yeah. I mean,
or what I'm
yeah,
not doing good enough.
I think
Those are
that's
the only things
yeah,
that I hear. Or I mean, everybody else, doesn't like, they don't know to focus on those things, but
yeah.
it's under such a microscope for me, that's all I hear.
I mean, I think that's proof that this is the ultimate tribute to Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses. You're so serious about what you do, very much down to the point. Axl Rose has been accused of being the ultimate perfectionist. I mean, look at Chinese Democracy. It took him like 13 years to make the album before it finally came out. But, it came out.
Well, for me, my philosophy, and I can only speak for myself, but
Sure.
my philosophy is what is life without taking on challenges?
Uh-huh.
It's taking on those challenges that, for me, get me excited.
Yeah.
About every day being a new day and everything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's always been my philosophy is I always like to challenge myself.
Yeah, and that's why you're such a great performer. Now, Gar, before we go any further, I got to ask you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to take a guess here, but you are coming live, am I right, from the Long Beach Town Center?
No, I'm not in Long Beach. I'm at the Buena Park Mall.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought, okay, yeah, okay, wow. Outdoors, though, beautiful outdoors.
It was raining this morning, but it's all nice and beautiful out now. So I figured, I just like, if we're going to do these, I just like the idea of doing it as a remote.
In fact,
and now we finally got it down. So, the other times we were having technical difficulties, and now we've pretty much got it.
It's a learning process. And, I got to say, Gar, that was something you came up with, like these live remotes as far as, where you're coming from. And it really does make each episode kind of fun. I remember when I posted the last rewind we did, I kind of posted something about, where you were coming live from and, could anybody guess? And I think it makes a little, gives us a little background, a cool background. And it just makes for a great video segment,
Well, I want to do another remote when we do another one of these rewinds. Sure. I want to do it from Knott's Berry Farm again.
Yeah,
I really like.
That was fun.
There's a bunch of really, really good spots.
Yeah.
To do it. Where I have some new ideas about doing a remote there. That place just seemed like it had a lot of good possibilities.
Yeah, you're from Orange County. Why not? And what's fun about like when you were coming live there is we're filming this show and there are people in the background don't even know they're on this. it's fun, because maybe somebody.
Okay. The other day I was watching. I don't know if I was watching a remote or if I was listening to one of our episodes, the most recent episode.
Yeah.
But I noticed something new. I noticed that I say, a lot. That.
Yeah, when you do these shows.
So now I'm going to have to try to make an effort not to do that. I just said,
And the more you try not to do it, the more you do it. It becomes a thing without trying. I mean, I've told you so many times during our shows, and I've been so aware of this, and I so often like catch myself, oh, that's interesting. I tell myself, you got to say something different, or I'll catch myself during the episode. Well, Gar, let me give you some fun trivia here, or instead of like saying that's interesting, and then I'll say something else in the same episode. I'll catch myself doing it all over again. It's just part of our speech patterns that we really can't control.
Well, it's a deep habit for me, so I'm gonna have to work on that one.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Las Vegas show.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Now, getting back to the Las Vegas show.
It's a Halloween show, so really excited about that. And I made a poster, and I'm completely self-taught.
Yeah.
As far as making posters, I have absolutely nobody teaching me anything or no influence and all that stuff. And the posters that I make, I basically taught myself how to do those posters, and they've worked very good for a long time. But I was talking to the people in the art department at Live Nation, and I asked them to come up with a Halloween theme, advertisement for the show. And oh my gosh, they are so much. I mean, I think I really like the advertisements that I do, the posters and stuff that that I do for the internet. They're definitely not an embarrassment. They're I see a lot of others that are not as good, but mine are not as good as the ones that Live Nation did. Oh my gosh, they did an advertisement that was just the second I saw it, I loved it. I was just going, oh my gosh, it's just everything about it is Halloween. From the second that you look at it.
Gar, your ads are always killer, and that's why I wanted to do a show like this today to kind of spotlight the upcoming show, because anytime I see one of your ads for your shows, I cannot help but look at it. It's got all the important information. You don't leave anything out, the graphics, visually. I mean, let's talk about back when all these great Hollywood bands that we grew up on, Motley Crue, Rat, Van Halen, The Doors, that's how they used to all advertise their shows. They would go and post up these flyers on all the clubs and along Hollywood Boulevard. That's how it was done back in the day.
Well, I was one of those bands back in those days doing exactly that.
Yeah.
Back then, and
you're still doing it in the internet age.
I think the most fun part about advertising, and why I always look forward to going down to Sunset Strip to pass out flyers and advertise, was because it was just the easiest way to meet girls. Number one, during that time, just you have to take yourself out of 2023 and put yourself back into 1985.
Yeah.
And on Sunset Boulevard in 1985.
Yeah.
And all of these girls that are out there at that time, the number one reason why those girls are there is because they want to see the guys with the long hair that look.
Yeah, you there, Gar? You're freezing up. Okay. Well, we lost Gar. Hopefully we'll get him back. Wow, Gar, you're freezing up. So, wow, this has been fun. This is Gar Borras's Time Machine Special Edition. My buddy Gar Borras, the rock star of everybody's favorite pop culture playground, is freezing up here, and I'm hoping that we're going to get him back. You there, Gar Borras? Okay, we will wait and see if Gar comes back. Wow. This has been so much fun, but if we lose my buddy Gar, we're going to try to get him back. Okay, Gar. Let's see. Okay, let's see if Gar comes back. We're going to stay on the line here. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to try to call Gar live here and see if we can. Okay, Gar Borras is coming back.
Jason, somehow we got lost on the signal.
That's all right. We got you back, Gar. We'll just take it from here. We'll consider this part two.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wind's blowing. But I was talking about, and just passing out flyers and meeting girls. It was just so much fun to do that, back in the day. And let's be honest, when you were in a band, what was the number one objective of all guys that were in bands?
To get with the girls. Yeah. And
you got that right.
And Gar Borras, you're looking.
So it was a part of advertising that was, if you took that element out of it, it wasn't fun at all.
Yeah.
But you put that one element, girls, and now it becomes the most fun thing that you could ever want to do.
Now, let me ask you, Gar, because you're very much looking like the rock star there at the Buena Park Mall today. I imagine people walking by, who the hell is that guy with the long hair? But
Or who's he
Talking to
talking
himself.
to? Because I talk kind of loud. I have a strong voice because I'm a singer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Hey,
I'm sure people,
so getting
that
back
are
to the
walking
show,
by, they're going, "What the heck is that guy doing?"
getting back to the show in Las Vegas on October 28th. I seen it's going to be like a Halloween costume party. So does that mean people are going to come dressed up, or some kind of
The most fun parties in my life
Yeah.
have always been Halloween
Oh,
parties.
sure.
And so this one, I just, there's just no way at all that this is not going to be off the hook. Number one, it's a Guns N' Roses tribute with an Iron Maiden tribute,
Yeah.
Playing that night, which is like, great music.
So,
And then you throw in the element that it's Halloween
yeah.
and costumes and everything like that. And of course you've got alcohol, you know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So this is just it's gonna be off the hook. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be at this show. There's probably going to be some lifelong memories that's probably going to happen at the show where later on people go, you remember that time we were at that blah blah blah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what this kind of show is going to be like.
And Gar, I think you're talking about this at the top of the show today. How smart of you to pick October 28th of Halloween weekend, because it would have been great to have it on Halloween, but let's be honest, how other many concert events take place Halloween night? Then it becomes a matter of which show do I want to go to.
Well, for Las Vegas, that's that kind of town too.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about this is it's a free ticket show.
Wow.
So basically, all you have to do to get free tickets to the show is email. You can. We have advertisements on Facebook and stuff, and you can email us at the number 4D email list at gmail.com.
Okay.
That's the number 4D email list at gmail.com. And, just provide their first and last name,
Yeah.
how many tickets they need. And, don't forget to include your city, because if you're joining our email list, you don't want to receive advertisements about a show we're doing in Iowa when you live in Florida.
And
You see what I'm saying?
Gar, besides getting the tickets, what do people get if they join the email list? Like, what kind of information
Well,
will they?
okay, that's what I was going to say is the tickets will be waiting for them at the box office will call, and all they have to do is go up to the box office and give their name, and the will call will know how many tickets that they ordered and everything like that, and they just give them their tickets and they go in.
Yeah.
It's super simple. You join our email list in exchange for free tickets to our show.
Wow, wow. And Gar, like you're saying, Las Vegas is a great rock and roll town, great show town. So let me ask you, have you ever played Vegas, or is this your first time?
No, we've been doing shows at House of Blues Las Vegas for many, many years.
Wow,
This is a long-standing venue that we've been playing at.
Great. So what can you tell us about the Iron Maiden tribute that's playing that night?
They're really good. I've never seen them myself, but I saw the videos and they're spot on. Their singer's good.
What's the name of the band?
They're called Flight
Oh, okay.
666. There was a movie or a documentary or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what it is. It's either a movie or a documentary, and it's called Flight 666.
Yeah, that came out a number of years ago on the band's history.
It's one of those that appeals to the hardcore Iron Maiden fan.
Yeah, yeah. And Gar, next weekend, you and I are gearing up to do episode number 52, Gar Borras' Time Machine. And along with the Halloween theme we're talking about today, it's going to be on Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. Now, just to share with people, I got this fun little thing. It's a DVD of Abbott and Costello, the Monster Collection, where not just Frankenstein, but they do a movie with Jekyll and Hyde, The Mummy. So this is really something I'm looking forward to doing with you next weekend.
Well, yeah, and that movie is a literal parade of all of those classic uh
Monsters.
monsters from that time period that I was telling you about, that
Yeah.
when I was a kid and I used to have those trading cards.
Oh,
Those were all those classic monsters that were on those trading cards. And I love those trading cards so
sure.
much that I remember them today. And
I gotta ask, have you held on to those?
So many years ago. Most people don't remember anything from about when they were that young.
Well, I
But I remember that.
I remember having Kiss trading cards as a kid and stuff like that. Let me ask you, those cards you were just talking about, do you still have them in your collection? Or
Oh no, they're long gone. Long gone.
Yeah. They need to come up with stuff like that again. I mean, yeah. Wow. And so let me ask you, Gar Borras, what want to let the cat out? Like, would you say the Las Vegas show is going to be like a standard set list? Do you have anything special for that show planned?
I'm just preparing for doing the best show I have ever done.
Yeah.
I've got friends of mine that are coming to this show. I also have a friend that's going to be videotaping the show. So I'm I am just preparing right now, physically working out and everything to be able to perform the best show I have ever performed.
Wow. And it's always fun to put on a show, I imagine, doing what you do, but how much more fun is it the fact that this is like a Halloween themed show, a holiday kind of themed show? That's got to make it a little different than your typical standard show.
Well, I'm really excited about it. Halloween, there's no way that this is not going to be a blast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just there's the House of Blues, free tickets.
Yeah.
It's in Las Vegas. There I just said,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But it's just how can this not be an absolutely just phenomenal show?
Yeah. Here's another fun question, Gar. I know a lot of times before bands go on stage, they get themselves pumped up. They play music backstage. I mean, I was curious, being a Guns N' Roses tribute, you necessarily have Guns N' Roses pumping up before a show, or do you have other music going on backstage?
It's because it's a music venue.
Yeah.
It's typical that at the Live Nation venues in the green room, they'll have a TV screen.
Oh.
And on that TV screen will be a camera that will be set on the stage. And so if you're in your dressing room and another band is performing on the stage, it's basically that band's performance that'll be what we're hearing and watching on the screen. And that's usually the typical for Live Nation, type of shows. They'll have that kind of a thing going on in their green room.
And I haven't been contacted.
It's basically, it's all about that. But for me, it's about getting in the mindset of doing the show, because there are a lot of singers that right before they hit the stage, they have their rituals.
Yeah.
And
that's why I asked.
I'm kind of starting to develop my own kind of rituals of getting into the mindset of doing the show.
And being that this is a Guns N' Roses tribute, and in your case specifically towards Axl Rose, I got to ask, like, before you hit the stage at one of these shows, you kind of have to get into the Axl mindset, like kind of morph yourself into doing all the Axl moves and everything.
Well, it's similar to I think we all hear about actors
Yeah,
where you know they'll have rules on the set
yeah,
that that no one can speak to them.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And to the general public looks at it as, oh God, that guy's on his high horse.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's so his head is so in the clouds that no one can speak to him.
yeah,
But in reality, that's just because the general public really does not understand the reason why that actor has that rule is because that actor is in their character's
yeah,
mindset
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and they don't want that being interrupted. They want to stay in that mindset because you know, I mean, it's hard to get back in that
yeah,
mindset. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I heard
So,
Alice.
you know, because the general public doesn't do anything like that or
Yeah,
doesn't know anything about that industry and doesn't know about these things, you know, they just think about it as, oh, that actor's got their head in the clouds. But the truth of the matter is that is an example of that mindset that I'm talking about.
yeah. You just
Because
described like
being in a
yeah,
tribute band, it's you have to be more, especially the singer,
yeah,
you have to be more than just a musician. You also have to be an actor. And I have no formal training
yeah, yeah,
as far as like acting, so I have to teach myself.
yeah,
And so, you know, and these are all those things that I'm learning
yeah,
as I'm going.
yeah. And I asked that because I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. I've heard him talk many times over years that, hey, you know, Alice Cooper is a character I play. When I transform into Alice on stage, when I'm not on the stage to my family and friends, I'm Vince. You know?
And it's very unhealthy
Yeah,
for a musician that
does
does those type of things where what they're doing is they're actually portraying a character.
yeah,
It's very you have to have separation between the characters that you do on stage
his
and
personal life.
your personal life. There
Yeah,
has to be separation between the two,
yeah,
because the person that doesn't have separation winds up trying, you know, being that character
yeah, yeah.
in real life,
You get
and
lost.
that's very unhealthy. And that's one of those things that Alice Cooper talks about.
Yeah,
That's why he created that separation, was because his character was very detrimental
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
his personal life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very much so. Gar, I've had fun doing this. I just want to thank people again for checking out the latest episode of Gar Borras' Time Machine that which went up yesterday. It's our episode on Casey Kasem, America's Top 10. And I tell you, we've been getting a great response. So thanks to all the people for checking that out. And Gar and I will be back next week, and we're going to record the latest episode, which, as I said, is going to be a Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. So Gar, thanks for doing this, buddy. Anything else you
Oh
want to
my
say?
gosh, this is such a pleasure. Thank you.
And this is just further proof that time flies when you're having fun. Because I mean, it seems like we just started the episode, but we're about ready to run out of time. So I will let you go, Gar. Talk to you later. Have a great rest of the weekend, buddy. Okay.
Okay, and thank everybody in the audience too.
Yeah, we just did. Thanks. Bye bye.